Hey guys, and welcome to my channel. I am filming this video on my computer, so I'm sorry if the quality isn't awesome, but if I don't do it this way, it's just not gonna get done. But I wanted to film some of my breastfeeding, bottle feeding essentials. I am doing both. I'm 7 weeks postpartum, so I figured this would be a really good opportunity to just simply share what has been working, what hasn't been. And I will preface this by saying that nothing that I'm saying is advice. It's just things that have worked for me, and I'll share some things that have not. This video is not sponsored in any way, so I wouldn't be recommending anything if I didn't actually use it and enjoy it and think that it would be beneficial to try. So just a quick little synopsis of my 7-week journey so far. I had all intentions of, if breastfeeding works great, if it doesn't, oh well. And then all of a sudden the hormones hit, I had the baby, and I really wanted to be able to breastfeed, but we did have to supplement with formula. We did have to pump and use bottles, and we've kind of had a long road, and I plan on filming a separate video to just kind of dedicate to that, just so I don't take up too much of your time. But I have been doing both. I've been using a ton of stuff. So let's just get to it and we'll see where we go. So I guess one of the first things that I would say in terms of breastfeeding, this top actually is like one of my favorites, and I would highly recommend it. It's from Blanqi. I think that's how you say it, but this is the nursing pull down tank. So you can literally just stretch this all the way down. And it kind of makes me feel a little bit normal in the house as opposed to just walking around half naked, which kind of happens all the time too. But this is kind of nice because it does have, it's called Supportwear. It's not compression, but it does kind of give you that nice little hug. And to be honest, I got my pre-pregnancy size in a small, and this fit literally the day after delivery, and I wear it all the time. I'm sure you guys have seen me in this in like a ton of videos, but it's great as just a staple on its own to work out. I wear it under, sweaters and things like that. So I love it. And it does kind of cover up your bra a little bit too. So that's one thing. Another thing I would say, get yourself a robe or a few of them, because like I just said, if you're breastfeeding in the first few weeks, you will be walking around the house half naked because you're not going to have time to take the shirt. And I know that there's plenty of videos and pictures online where you see people, doing their own thing and they're covered up, and I just feel like in the beginning, there's so much thought and planning that goes into getting the baby to latch that you just need them to be out, and you can't be fussing around with clothing. So I ended up getting this one from Milkmaid Goods. I found them on Instagram, and they have really cute nursing covers and swaddle sets and things like that. So I ended up, I know one of the pictures in my other YouTube videos is me wearing this robe, and I have the actual matching swaddle set. So it would make for cute newborn pictures as well if that's your thing. What else? I guess we'll just stick with the breastfeeding stuff for now. In terms of bras to wear, my absolute favorite one has been the cheapest. So this one came from Pee in the Pod, but I got it at Bye Bye Baby. I think it was like $38, but they're super soft. They're great for sleep. I honestly just wear t-shirts all the time when I go out now because this is the only bra I actually want to wear. So I highly recommend these. And then the one that I'm actually wearing, not like I'm going to show it, but it's one of the clasp ones that you can do that with. This one came from Kindred, Braverly, I think it's called. Another Instagram find of mine anyway. I do like these. Whoops. I like that the clasp is right here and it's very easily accessible. The fabric is super, super soft. The only thing that I'm not a fan of is that it kind of loses its shape throughout the day. I'll find that I have to constantly readjust it. I forget the name of this one, but I will link it in the, the drop down menu. The other one that I did get from Bye Bye Baby is from the brand Bravado, and I'm not a fan of it because where the clasp is here, by the time you readjust the bra, it's up here. So it's kind of hard if you only have one hand to kind of do this whole thing. So I'm not a fan of those whatsoever. And those were actually the most expensive, which made no sense to me at all. You might want to get yourself some nursing tanks. And these are just things that you might want to register for or just buy for yourself either before you have a baby. But I know there's plenty of nursing tanks out there, but I feel like the Gap always has sales. And I got a few of these cute little tanks that were super cheap too. And if you shop there often, or if you're buying stuff for your baby, you'll get that Gap cash, and that kind of helps too. What else can we do? So let's talk about some of the struggles with breastfeeding. So these are by the brand Lanuche. I don't even know how to say it, but we're going to get into some of the discomfort and some of the issues. So let's face it, breastfeeding is easier for some. I hope it's easy for you. But it may not be, and it hasn't been for me. So I'm not going to try to scare anybody because I am still pursuing it, but these are just some of the things that either friends have purchased for me, that I've purchased for myself. Some of these things I've purchased multiple times, and I don't know. But, you know, I know that breastfeeding isn't supposed to be uncomfortable or painful, but I think as a new mom, as you're trying and you're working on it, it might. And it might until you figure out what you're doing wrong and, you know, how to kind of go about troubleshooting. So these are like little, they're either heat packs or cold packs, which I love. So if you look on the inside, I forget how much these were, but they have these little beads. So you can actually put this in the microwave, or you could put this in the freezer. They have these little covers that go around them, and they just kind of, you know, shape your boob or whatever. But the nice thing is they have this little snap here. So if you're pumping, it can actually go around your pump. So you would use the warm version of this to like stimulate more of a letdown and kind of help more milk come out. And if you're hurting afterwards, you can literally do the same thing. So what I'll do, I'll either, you know, clip this around my pump for heat, or I'll just like stick this in a bra if I'm uncomfortable. So these have been great. I usually keep them in the freezer, and I really enjoy those a lot. Another thing. So again, if you're uncomfortable, which may happen, or if you end up getting any type of skin breakdown, which again is not normal, but it may happen. Like, I feel like it drives me nuts when I hear people like, you know, breastfeeding isn't supposed to hurt, but it might, you know, until you figure things out. So these are the, I can't say this. Lano, the Soothes gel pads. They soothe, relieve, and help heal sore nipples for instant cooling pain relief. So the good thing about these, they work. They work beautifully. They're this size. I don't have any left because I use them all. But it says that they're good for up to 72 hours, or unless they get like saturated in leaking milk. So the good news is you can reuse them, but the bad news is if you leak, you're screwed. And I think these are like $9. But they do feel amazing when they're on. And the other thing is they kind of give you a nice barrier between your clothing, because I've found that when you're in that like phase of breastfeeding, like water hitting your nipples is going to hurt, clothing hitting your nipples is going to hurt, any type of like sensation whatsoever. So this kind of gives you a really nice barrier, and it is seamless with clothing, which is nice too in case you're going out or something like that. So I would actually put these in the refrigerator, pop them on after trying to feed, and it really does give you instant relief. So I'm a giant fan of these. I have purchased these over and over and over again, and it just sucks because, you know, they're not exactly cheap, you know, considering how long you use them. As far as protecting the leakage, I started out thinking like, I don't want to wear anything that's, you know, gonna just have to be washed. I want disposable so I could throw it away. Because in my mind, like, I'm not really a fan of the whole like cloth diaper thing. I wouldn't really want like a reusable pad. I know it's kind of gross to even think of, but that was my train of thought with the disposable pads. The problem that I found with the disposable ones is, one, they look horrible if you're wearing like thin clothing. You could see right through them, and it's literally like wearing a maxi pad in your bra, which sucks, especially if you're wearing like one of those like cloth or cotton bras. So when I ended up going to my lactation consultant, she had even suggested like not using them, because she actually found that my boobs had like almost like a residue on them, because they don't like wick like moisture away. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to get an infection from, you know, kind of harboring like a warm, moist environment. And I hate that word. But so I ended up getting these at Target. They're the BAM Boobies. They're washable nursing pads. 2 of them come in a pack. They do have like levels of, I guess, absorption on them. So these are for light leaking. They're the size of a heart. They're actually kind of damp because I had them in the wash, but they go like this. They're a lot better with clothes. You really can't tell. I got myself 2 packs of these, so I have 4 that and I mean, it's not like I'm not doing laundry every day anyway. But they're soft. They don't bother me. I felt like the disposable ones kind of stuck sometimes, which that was really comfortable. But I am a fan of these, and I would recommend those as well. What else do we got? If your plant, well, actually, all right, so I'm going to preface this by saying that this company, Pinkstork, did send me this, but I enjoy it, so I'm just going to recommend it. And you might not want to get this brand, and that's totally fine. There's plenty of brands that sell like lactation teas, but I'm a tea person. I've never had a cup of coffee. Well, I've had 1 cup of coffee in my life, even though I didn't really like it, but I'm a tea person. So this pretty much has all of the ingredients that a lot of the like milk teas end up having. But when I got sent this, I'm like, I'm going to try it. And I ended up really enjoying it. And I thought that this would honestly taste like crap because of what's in it, because I don't really like the taste of fennel at all. I don't like the smell of it. But this has such a, I don't even know what the word, but it's very smooth. It's very mild. What I actually do, I mean, at night I drink it plain, but during the day I'll actually mix this with my English breakfast, and it's delicious. So this is called Liquid Gold Nursing Mother's Tea. Promotes milk production, milk flow, delicious hot or cold, and I enjoy it. And you can actually reuse the bags. The bags look like that. So yay for that. And I will say too, like there's so many gimmicks out there that, you know, tell you that it's going to, you know, promote or, you know, boost up your milk production. And I think, you know, a lot of us are always looking for that quick fix because we're just such hot messes after we have a baby and whatnot. And I honestly, what has worked for me the best in, you know, increasing milk production has been, you know, feeding, period, which I'll talk more about in my next video, but, and just keeping hydrated and drinking tons of water. But that helps me drink water. So I'll have like a cup or 2 and it helps. What else do we got? Okay. If you're good at feeding, or if you're just feeding in general via the breast, this thing will be your best friend. I do not know why nobody told me about this. I don't know why none of my friends use it. And if they do, they didn't tell me, and that's just messed up. This thing is, and it's like $8. I think you can get it between like $8 and $15 on Amazon. I saw this, where did I see this? Probably like a late night looking at YouTube videos while I was, you know, nuts trying to figure out how to breastfeed and whatnot. But this is called a Haatka, Haakaa. It's a silicone like manual pump. So here's the thing. When you are breastfeeding, the baby is going to stimulate you to release milk, right? And the baby's going to be on one side. What was happening to me, and I feel like this probably happens to most people, you just let down on both. So you start leaking on the one side, you're feeding on the other side. And for me in the beginning, and even now, like I don't want to waste anything because it's not like I'm just a milk making machine over here. So any little bit that I can accumulate and store, I'm all about. So when I saw this, I was like, I'm going to give this a try. Plus, pumping isn't the most comfortable thing in the world. It's not painful, but it's not comfortable. And if I could just get some from this, I'll do that. So here's how it works. Baby's on one side. As your milk lets down, you literally just squeeze this and it just sucks. I don't even know if I can like do this, but it sucks right on. Whatever, you get the point. It sucks on and it basically collects whatever is just leaking out. So, I mean, it's not going to be the same as what the baby's getting. So it's not like you're going to be like, oh, the baby got this much but I will get from just one feeding session between a ½ ounce and 2 ounces that just falls out. So I would rather do this than be hooked up to like the boob dialysis machine, if that makes sense. Plus it's cheap. Plus you can bring it anywhere. They have little stoppers that can kind of prevent anything from spilling out. And they do make a lid for it too. And it does have a suction so that like if you wanted to just kind of stick it on like your dresser so that it didn't fall over, which is also really nice too. You just have to be careful that the baby doesn't kick it off because then you would probably hate your baby if you lost potential milk. So there's that. So big recommendation. All right. So now another problem that I had in the beginning was Jack wouldn't latch. And it was painful and we had weight issues. So the lactation consultant kind of just wanted me to be able to feed, period, and just work on the latch later because we were having such a hard time of getting that milk transfer for him to actually eat because of the poor latch. So we tried Shields. They worked, they helped me latch, but I hate using them. I'm not using them anymore. I literally loathe them, but I feel like this isn't something that I would recommend you get. Like if you are pregnant, don't go out and buy one of these because I hope you never have to use one. But if you are using them, I wanted to just recommend one over the other and just explain why. And if you end up needing to use one, maybe this would help you too. So that's why I'm going to talk about it. So as you can see, I got quite a few because I hated it so much that I needed to experiment with different kinds. So, and let me say this, these are usually sized as well. So you have to be cognizant of that. And I'll get into that a little bit more in a minute. But so these were the ones that I started with, the Advent ones. So as you can see, it kind of just looks like a nipple, and this literally goes over you. And it does help the baby latch on a little bit. And the one nice thing about this one, the holes are bigger than some of the others. But the problem that I ran into with these was like the two flap thing. So ideally, if you're putting it on this way, the baby's face would be this way. And if it's this way, the baby's face is this way, depending on how you're going to hold. The problem is with the two, sides, it came off so easily. And what would happen, now mind you, just picture like a 2-week-old, and I was like hysterical, nervous, annoyed, uncomfortable, trying to figure out and situate everything. And he's literally grabbing it and ripping it off and throwing it across the room. I've had plenty of sob fests just because of these goddamn things. So what I ended up finding and liking, this is by the brand Nook. I know they make pacifiers, but as you can see, this one has 3 sides. This one has 2. So this one did stay on a whole lot better than this one. So if you're using Shields, this one might be more beneficial to you. And for whatever reason, I did try the Lanouche, or I can't say that stupid word. I did try these. They didn't really stay on that well, and Jack didn't like them. So there's that. So that's my Shield talk. I really hated the Shields, guys. I hope you don't have to use them, but I know that they are beneficial and they do help a lot of women, so I don't want to talk too much crap about them. And the Nook ones do come in a case, which is nice. If you have to, obviously feed out on the go, you can put this in something. Okay, so let's talk about pillows. Okay, so everybody gets this. Everybody gets the boppy pillow. As a new mom, I'm going to say, well, I don't want to give advice, but I'm just going to say as a new mom, this sucked for breastfeeding because I feel like there's so much that goes into it. I mean, you see all this stuff where the pretty picture of the mom breastfeeding her child, but what I feel as a new mom, you're trying to hold you're getting used to so many things and positioning and latching, and this goes here and this goes here and you're holding this, and then it's a lot. Trust me, it's a lot. So what ended up happening a lot with me, especially because I had more of a postpartum bump, this kept getting away from me, and Jack would kind of sink in between us, which defeats the whole damn purpose. So I really didn't find this to be useful at all. I actually threw this numerous times. It's more helpful now that I'm better at feeding and that I'm more experienced. It's great for just assisting to hold the baby. It's great for when family come over and they want to be supported while holding the baby. I actually felt that putting it in this type of a position was a little bit better because I can, put him on an incline and put his head here. It's great for tummy time. It's great for kind of propping him up. But I would just say as a new mom who's trying to breastfeed for the first time, this was not helpful to me. I know that a lot of new moms bring this to the hospital with them, which, good for you, but for me, not my favorite. So, and again, I swear this is not sponsored. I bought this myself. My lactation consultant recommended this. And this was amazing to learn how to breastfeed. I don't use it now because I don't need it, but in the beginning, I thought that it was worth the $40 or whatever it was to have for those first couple of weeks. So here's why. Let me stand back a little bit. This is called my Breast Friend, which is clever. So how does this go? So remember the problem I was telling you about? Voila. And here's the thing. I would sit, get positioned, and then I would be like, God damn it, my phone, or like, God damn it, my remote, or my bottle of water, or whatever it was. And it was just a pain in the ass because I would just like lose everything. This straps on. So when he's on here, he's not going anywhere. Like nothing is going anywhere. And I tell you what, having little pockets that you could put your phone or your remote or a snack or something in there is really helpful too. You can, I mean, if you continue to use this throughout, you know, your 4th trimester, you could put like a toy or something on here, whatever. But they have all different cute covers for this. It does have like 2 little indentations for like, you know, an elevated head and whatnot. But this was everything, especially if I was like sitting in like my kitchen chair or something like that. So highly recommend this for a new mom. This would, I mean, I always recommend you shop off the registry when you're going to a baby shower, but if you wanted to get something extra for a mom that you knew was going to breastfeed, this would be a super gift, a super awesome gift that she wouldn't even know how good it was until she had it. Okay. And the last pillow. So I will say this company did send me this. It's called Feeding Friend, but I really do like it. And this is actually what I wish I had in the hospital for a few reasons. So the nice thing about this, it's a travel pillow. So you can literally, it comes in a little bag. I don't know if I have the bag up here. I don't think I do. But it comes in like a little tote bag. So if, let's just say you're feeding on the go, you're going to your parents or your in-laws, you can kind of just have something. And it's just nice. I mean, if you were, I don't know, in the car, it's good. But it's less cumbersome and it doesn't take up as much space as some of the other stuff. So it's literally just a wedge. So if you're bottle feeding, you can use this too. So here's the thing. I work in a hospital. I'm kind of a germaphobe. I know a lot of people bring their nursing pillows to the hospital with them. I'm not really into doing that. So to have something small that I could have put in like a little tote bag, this would have been great instead of lugging around a giant pillow with me. Like this I would have brought to the hospital and used. The other thing, I felt like, you know, if you're having a vaginal delivery and it is a little uncomfortable to sit afterwards, to sit in a chair or in an uncomfortable hospital bed with a boppy pillow or one of their plastic pillows, it just wasn't comfortable. So I would a lot of times like to kind of, you know, pitch myself on my side just because I was a little uncomfortable, but to have a wedge like this would have been really nice. So I do use this now. I do like it. I would recommend it just because of its, you know, its size and whatnot. It's super, super soft too. It deflates and it self-inflates, which is awesome. So Feeding Friend. And they're from Australia, which is like my #1 bucket place to go. All right, so to get, one more breastfeeding thing. So I know that there's tons of, again, products like this, but a friend of mine recommended the Mother Love nipple cream. So it's organic. It just has virgin olive oil, beeswax, shea butter, marshmallow root, and some flour that I can't pronounce. But it kind of is like the consistency of Vaseline. I like it. I've been using it. I know there's plenty of other things that you may, you know, like or prefer. It doesn't have an odor. It hasn't stained my clothes. And you don't have to wash or rub it off before you feed again. And it hasn't affected either of us. So that's what I've been using for that. And yeah, I think we're into pumping bottle stuff. Okay. Something that I missed big time with my pump, and mind you, the lactation consultant that came to my house who helped me set up my pump, who taught me how to use my pump, never looked at the nipple on the flange. And I get so angry with this, but they make different sizes. So a lot of us get our pumps from our insurance company. So whether you're getting the Spectra or the Medela, whatever you get, just know that the standard size flange that, you know, goes on you may not fit. So the size that they send is a 24. And it's funny because on their website, it says, or, you know, somebody's saying that, you know, it doesn't fit most women, which is freaking fantastic. So I came across this, of course, on a YouTube video in the middle of the night when I was pumping and uncomfortable. And I was looking at different reasons for being uncomfortable while pumping. And it turns out I was trying to squeeze my stupid nipples through something that was literally tearing them off. And I just assumed that that's how you get the milk out. So, you know, what do I know? So I ended up, the nice thing is if you have the Medela pump, They have all of these parts at Target. You can Amazon Prime anything. Bye Bye Baby has literally everything. So I was able to literally go out like as soon as I watched that video and get the other size flange. So another thing I would recommend, I mean, I took the word on the consultant that came to my house, but just if I can, in hindsight, I guess I would have just gone on the manufacturer website or watched a YouTube video from the manufacturer of the pump just to kind of learn from them on how to properly size and use the pump so that I was a little bit more prepared. But you know what? When you have a kid that's eating constantly and you're tired and stressed and, you know, your normal, you know, logic might go out the window a little bit. In terms of bottles, so I know I shouldn't even be mentioning these because every baby is going to like something different. Some babies like this and others don't like this, and some moms like this and some moms don't. But these are the two that I went with that work for us. So I kind of had the mentality in the beginning that like, instead of like the whole like nipple confusion thing, I'm like, I'm just going to throw as many things at him as I can so that he doesn't get confused that he's just taking everything. And that seems to be working. But I did go with the Dr. Brown bottle. They look like this, only because I did hear that they were good for gas and colic and things like that because of that extra piece that is in them. So I will say that a lot of people complain that there's too many pieces. So you have this, you have that, the bottle, the nipple, and then the, what's it called, the ring and the top. So if you have a dishwasher, it shouldn't matter. I clean the nipples by hand. I clean the little parts. I put them in like that little Boone cage or whatever, and it's fine. I mean, it doesn't bother me at all. And if it does help with gas, then, you know, it's worth it to me. The other bottle that I really like is the Comotomo. And I like these because they're supposed to mimic the appearance of the boob. I kind of like what they look like, even though that's not important at all. But they're very easy to clean because everything is just very wide. So again, dishwasher friendly, and I like them. So I'll probably end up getting the bigger sizes for both of these when he starts, you know, taking in more. What else we got? If you're planning on breastfeeding, period, I mean, I would just register for all the stuff that goes with the pump if you're getting a pump anyway, just because you're probably going to need it. Because I look at it this way. If you're successful at breastfeeding and you don't have any of the issues that I'm mentioning, then you might want to pump like once a day to start building up a supply just in case something happens, or if you're going back to work, whatever. Register for the bags that, you know, whatever brand, it doesn't matter, but just you want these, you know what I mean? Because it only lasts, I think, 3 days in the refrigerator. So you can actually start freezing your stash, which is a good thing. So definitely get those. And then as far as burp cloths, these I really like. These are the little unicorn ones. And I like these for a few reasons. So if you're breastfeeding and let's just say you're using one of the pillows, and let's just say you're not going to get that silicone pump or something and you're going to be leaking, this is big enough that you can kind of lay so that you don't leak onto your pillow and you're not changing tons of pillowcases and whatnot. And I just like that as a burp cloth, there's a ton of surface area on these. So it really does cover a decent part of you up. So these are just the ones that I really like. They have really cute patterns and whatnot too. And a lot of them that are unisex, which I clearly like. But that is actually it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If there's anything that has worked for you that you would like to recommend to me or anybody that watches this video, I would love that, just because I'm still in the thick of everything at 7 weeks. And I'm hoping to get more videos like this out to you guys. I know that I want to do just a whole breastfeeding video because we had the tongue ties and issues, and obviously I'm doing a whole bunch of different things to kind of make things work. But I will say this, regardless of what you end up doing as a new mom, the one thing that honestly can't be said enough, especially if you're, you know, hoping to do one thing, or if you're undecided about what you want to do, I would just say this, like, you might think one thing now and then the baby's going to come and you may think something else. You're going to have so many different opinions. You're going to read so many different things between books, hospital literature, family, friends, whatever Facebook groups you get thrown into, your pediatrician. If you do see a lactation kit, like, there's just so many people and opinions. Just you know, be comfortable with whatever you decide. Know that your hormones may play tricks on you. It may be stressful, it may be hard, but fed is best. Just go with your gut and your mom instincts, and that's really all that counts, okay? So take care, and I will see you later.